Did you ever have, I guess, an experience with Mr. Rossi where he called the police on you?
That would be he called the cops accusing me of taking money from him. So he'd come out earlier and ask me if I'd taken $200 some odd, a sum of money that he asked me if I'd seen it laying around or if I took it. And I told him no. I obviously don't have $240. I would know that because I was broke at the time, all the time. And he kind of just, after I told him, no, I don't have your money, he said, oh, okay. I thought that was the end of it. And the cops show up about 20 minutes later. And I invite him in. I kind of already knew why he was there, probably because he called the cops saying I stole his money. So the officer asks if he can search my room, and I tell him, you can search my room, but if you're in there looking for money, right? And he says yes, and goes into my room, doesn't find any money, doesn't find any cash, but he finds my pot and smoking device, I guess you would call it. But he was kind of cool about it. He just took those, but yeah, there was no money. And Officer Spieth was his name. Yeah, just took my stuff and we parted ways.
Let me ask you, do you know about when that occurred?
It was pretty early on when we were living together. I don't know the date at all. I just know it was within the first couple months of living there.
The incident regarding the tattoo, you remember, you said that you were sitting there watching the X Games. Do you know about when the X Games were taking place?
I think it was August, end of July or August or so. It was on a Saturday because myself and my friend, we weren't working, so we were just going to get together and watch X Games. I think it was the final day of X Games of 2008.
You mentioned earlier that the apartment wasn't furnished. At some point in time, did it become furnished?
It seemingly overnight.
Tell us about that.
It's really, I just went to work. I worked in customer service, so I go to work one day and I come back and the apartment is full. A futon, like a rug, coffee table, everything. The only thing I owned at that point was a big screen TV and 2 camping chairs and an Xbox. So I come home and there's just IKEA furniture in a fully furnished apartment now.
Okay. And who bought all of that?
Nick did.
Did you ever meet any of Nick's friends or girlfriends? Did he ever bring anyone over to the house?
He didn't have any friends.
Did you ever come home at some point in time and see that he was with a girl?
Yes, there was one night I came home and he had a girl there with him and they were just watching TV.
Okay. Did you at any point in time have a conversation with her or with Nick?
No, it was just a, hey, nice to meet you, kind of a formality. He introduced me to her, I introduced myself, and that was about it. I never had a conversation with her, though.
Did you have a friend named Trevor?
Nope.
If I may have a moment.
Sure.
When you would come home, would Nick be out in, I guess when Nick was home and you'd come home, would he be out there in the general area or where would he be in the apartment?
It was a mixed bag. Sometimes he was, sometimes he wasn't. But if he was, he'd be in the living room on his iMac, not watching TV or anything, just hanging out there. But most of the time he was anywhere in the apartment, really.
Did he spend much time in his apartment?
In his room?
His room?
Yeah, at times.
Okay. And then you mentioned that ultimately you were kicked out. Were just you kicked out, or was everyone, all your roommates kicked out?
The whole apartment got evicted, so everyone living there had to leave.
Okay. And you believe that was towards the end of
the end
of the year 2008?
Yeah.
All right. No further questions.
All right.
2 camping chairs, an Xbox, and a TV. Bachelor's paradise. Those were the days. All right, let's step aside now for a quick break. When we return, the defendant's roommate withstands cross-examination in the fugitive sex offender trial of Nicholas Rossi. So keep it here on your front row seat to justice.
Tonight on Closing Arguments, the final state witnesses in the dismembered wife murder trial. We'll unpack today's key testimony, getting you ready for the defense case.
Closing Arguments with Vinny Politan, tonight at 8/7 Central, only on Court TV.
Saturday nights on ION
is our night.
Let's go! Double headers every Saturday at 7 and 10 p.m. Eastern. The new Saturday Night Out is on ION all season long.
Sexual assaults can happen anywhere. It is typically someone the victim knows. And for many, I'm going to switch back to survivor language. For many survivors, it's actually a really arduous process to make the decision to report. Many never report. Only a minority of victims report immediately. By immediately, I mean within a few days. But of those who report, there are delays as long as weeks, months, and in some cases, years.
We are in day 2 of testimony in the fugitive sex offender trial in Utah. Defendant Nicholas Rossi is facing 2 trials for allegedly raping 2 different women. The first trial involves his ex-girlfriend, who testified yesterday about their whirlwind romance and how they quickly became engaged and she had to pay for the rings. She says that she was raped after the pair got into an argument when she tried to break up with him. Here's the rest of his roommate's testimony.
All right, Eric. So you stated that you flew down here from Tacoma, Washington to come testify at this trial?
Vancouver, Washington.
Sorry, Vancouver, Washington. The state paid for you to fly down here, though, right?
Yes.
Okay. You didn't pay for it out of your own money?
No.
Okay. You were subpoenaed to be here today by them?
Yes.
Okay. So I think I'll just kind of cut to the chase here, man. So you do not like Nick. That is fair to say, right?
Very fair.
Okay. And in fact, so the nickname thing, the Hey Man thing, right? You and your buddies called him Hey Man because when he would walk into a room or when he'd start a conversation, he'd be like, Hey Man, right?
He would say, hey man. So
Okay.
yeah, it became.
Would you call him Hey Man to his face?
I actually never tried striking up a conversation with him, so no.
Okay, but it is still an inside joke in your group of friends 17 years later.
Absolutely.
Okay, so like this man still lives rent-free in your head, safe to say.
Those stories are hilarious ones to tell when hanging out with friends and having a beer.
Yeah, totally. So he's kind of the butt of your joke in your group of friends right now? Still?
Not right now, no. I mean, now that I'm here, the conversation's been had, but yeah, he's not the butt of the joke for anyone. I'm just here because I was subpoenaed.
Sure, yeah, fair enough, understood. But it sounds like in your group of friends, the Hey Man thing persists, correct? Like in 2025.
I don't really think anyone thinks about it in 2025.
So let me back up. So you spoke to Detective Coates, right?
Yes.
You spoke to him once on the phone?
Yes.
You spoke to him once in person?
Yes.
And so it's your testimony today that you do not continue to make that joke?
No, I still make that joke.
Okay, so you do make that joke?
Yes.
Okay. So let's talk about subletting an apartment. It sounds like it was sort of a random assortment of guys, right?
Yes.
And so when you first meet Nick, you thought that he was weird, right?
When I very first met him, I just had to feel him out, get to know him. We sat on the living room floor, had a conversation, and It takes a couple weeks to really get to know him and decide, oh, I don't like this guy.
So eventually you come to the conclusion you think he's weird, right?
Yes.
And that you don't like him, right?
That happened over the course of living with him, yes.
Sure. So over the course of living with him, you found him to be clingy, right?
Clingy, annoying, yeah.
And you actively avoided him, correct?
As much as I could, yes, but I still lived there.
Sure, but you didn't try to like track his comings and goings, right?
No.
You weren't paying attention to what he was doing?
I could care less.
Sure, absolutely. You could care less, but you would eat the food he brought back from Chili's, right?
I do love Chili's, chips, and salsa.
Okay, fair enough. How old were you when y'all were living together?
I think it was 21, 22.
Do you know how old Nick was?
He was about the same age as me, I remember.
So 21 or 22?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. You noted, though, that you all got evicted. Like, all of you got evicted together, right? Mm-hmm. And you had blamed Nick for the eviction, correct?
Yes.
Part of the reason was because, one, police showed up at your house regarding he said that you had taken money from him, right?
No, that was not why.
Well, there's a multitude of reasons why. So do you agree or disagree that the fact that law enforcement came to your home
the
first time that it contributed to your eviction, correct?
We would have been evicted a long time ago if that would have been the reason. We would have been evicted way before the end of the year.
Sure. So I guess let's back up even further. So do you know when you got evicted?
It was at the end of the year. Like I said, I don't remember any specific date, but it was about the end of the year when we got an eviction notice.
Do you know if a case was filed, like an actual eviction case was filed?
I assume so. I was getting things in the mail afterwards.
Okay.